Hey, what's up? It's your favorite YouTuber again. We're out here talking that real shit. And today we're going to talk about what is masculinity. See, masculinity has been just ridiculed and destroyed and run through the muck by guys like Andrew Tate, the Fresh and Fit podcast, and all these other hosts of Manosphere guys who are not really telling you what it is to be a man. They're giving you like little examples and clickbait for you to watch about red pill shit so you can sit there and hate women. But that's not what the game is about. That's not what masculinity is about. Masculinity has three core principles to it, and most young guys, they have no idea. They're lost, they're confused, they're lost boys. And the reason you have so many lost boys is because there's so many men who are not embracing masculinity. We got a lot of guys who claim and utilize masculinity as a means to make money because it's a great market. Because once again, we got a bunch of lost boys, so you can go out there and make a podcast, make a YouTube, talk whatever you want to talk about, and everybody's going to listen to you. But in today's podcast or my YouTube video, I'm going to explain to you what masculinity is, how you become more masculine, and how you can promote masculinity in a positive light so it doesn't get ridiculed and ran through the muck by guys in the manosphere. Because the manosphere has fucking ruined masculinity. It truly has. So we're going to talk about the number one principle of masculinity, what masculinity is, and how we go about making ourselves better men, is understanding masculinity is about the pursuit of truth and acts of love. See, man is the light. The universe has ordained man as the dominant species upon this planet, and with great power comes great responsibility. And it is man's responsibility to go for the pursuit of truth. It's our job to see the truth, to examine the truth, to explain the truth, and to promote truth. So then we can then be required to then do acts of love to further promote the way of truth. And if you look at all the great religions, from Jesus to Jesus to all the Indian gods and Greek gods, all they ever talk about was truth, man. They don't like deceivers. Deceivers are not very welcome in the game of life because all those like lies and everything like that, all the finessing, all the shit that you try to do to make yourself seem like you're bigger than what you are, it ends up coming back and bites you in the ass. There is a toll to pay. And there's a very good podcast I listened to Jordan Peterson about. Jordan Peterson is basically explaining it like, you have to pay the piper. The piper will be paid. So you can either pay the piper up front, which is a much cheaper cost than if you try to hold off and let the interest build up over time. So you're much better off telling the truth, man, being honest, despite what's going to come your way. Because at the end of the day, what's going to come your way will come your way. All deeds have some byproduct that come back and bite you. So that girl you're lying to try to keep her to be your girl, eventually the truth's going to come out and she's going to have hell and fury upon you. And if you don't want to have that type of life and you don't want to have those type of experiences where things are come back to come bite you in the ass and you don't want to have like all this turmoil and chaos in life, you got to start embracing truth. And the best way to find truth is to do acts of love, man. Go out there and really show people that you love them, that you appreciate them. Give them their flowers so they can still smell them. Charleston White had a great saying that a great man will never be appreciated while he's alive. It's only once he is gone and that presence is no longer felt that man is then appreciated. And we see that so often in life, that men are just not appreciated when they're doing what they're supposed to do and taking care of business as they should. And the reason is because most men don't tell the truth. And we don't celebrate men who tell the truth. We love deceivers. And the sad thing about it is that in our Western culture, deceitfulness and the spirit of lying is very well and promoted from the rappers to the entertainers to the streamers to everything that you virtually see online. It's a bunch of people just lying all day. And a lot of people have gotten so comfortable with the lie that they can't handle the truth. The truth is too brutal. It's way too brutal. And if you don't want to have a brutal existence, well, I mean, like life is going to be brutal regardless of whatever you do. But if you don't want to live in a shock of brutal truth that eventually comes your way, if you start living the truth every day and you embrace what comes, you become tougher. You become more resistant to the truth that comes your way. So like, if you're a broke dude, you're out here lying to girls, you're out here buying cars you can't afford, getting watches you can't afford, putting things on credit and all that stuff. At some point in time, that bill comes due. And when that bill comes due, if you're not prepared to pay, guess what, man? Your credit takes a fucking ding. Same thing with your masculinity. If you're not living truth, if you're not being honest, you're not telling people up front what you mean, what you say, and all that other good stuff, chances are, when the bill comes due, your honesty and your reputation is going to take a hit. And there's nothing worse to a man than his reputation being squandered. Because it's very easy to build, it's very difficult to build a fabulous reputation. Building a reputation takes a long time, takes a lot of great efforts and acts of love. It takes a lot of hard effort, but it can be ruined overnight if you're out there lying and being a piece of shit to people. And that's what people don't like. They don't want to be lied to. And women especially don't want to be lied to. Like, they'll accept it, but once they find out the truth, you're in some deep shit. And that brings up to my next core principle, what masculinity is a man is his role within the world or within the planet or within his domain or ecosystem, wherever he remains in. His job is to enhance the ecosystem, enhance the community, so those who reside within his community can then prosper. And this is a big one for most people, because what's his name had a very famous saying, I think it's John F. Kennedy, don't ask what your country can do for you, but ask what you can do for your country. And that's a question a lot of guys are just not willing to ask themselves. They don't care enough about other people around them. All they care about is me. There's so much selfishness within the average man's spirit. They want all the pussy, but they want a loyal woman. They want to be pieces of shit, but they expect other people to treat them with respect and admiration. They want to lie, cheat, and steal, but don't expect anybody to lie, cheat, and steal to them. And so they don't do anything to ever enhance the environment, to enhance everything around people, and thus they end up in a situation where the environment gets worse, and then you know what they do? They flee. And it's a really sad case, because a lot of guys, like, they build families, they start these families, and they quit halfway through the family. And that's just not right, man. Like, once you decide to go down that path of becoming a family man, it is your job to protect your wife, to protect the kids, protect the dog, protect the home, and to ensure that they can live a prosperous life and enjoy their... Yeah, it's your job to ensure that they can end up being happy in that particular domain. That's your job as the man. Your job as the man is to ensure everybody has peace and love, and you are the light for the community. And a lot of guys just don't embrace that role. A lot of people are just plunderers. They're pieces of shit. And it's a sad thing to see, because this type of behavior is not sustainable long term. This is going to be a crash out inevitably. And now we're starting to see the fruits of our labor, which is most men are now crashing out. Most women are crashing out because men are crashing out. So, like, everything follows suit. Like, man is built to problem solve, built to build, built to create, built to enhance. And women are built to manage and maintain and help beautify these things. So what you give a woman, she ends up giving it back to you tenfold. So if you give her happiness, love, peace, admiration, praise, if you give her food, she gives you a meal. If you give her sex, she gives you a child. If you give her a house, she makes it a home. There's a way that the system is supposed to operate, but the sad part is most men are not doing their job. They don't want to build. They just want to exist in something that's already been built, and then try to take claims and act like they have domain over it. Like, it's the little man, big guy syndrome, I guess you would say, where we got a lot of boys who want to have the benefits of being the man, but don't want the responsibilities of the man. And that's not a recipe for success in any endeavor or any type of, like, lifetime, man. Because as men, we have to learn, how can we advance? How can we enhance and create a better civilization for our future generation and for the people around us, so then they can then prosper and go on to do the same thing in other places. And that's how the animal is supposed to work. But sadly, we have lost our way because we have lost the light. And last, masculinity is about the constant development of self-mastery. See, in order to understand the world around you, you have to understand yourself. And most men don't understand themselves because they simply just don't take the time to learn how to master yourself. They're too busy with worldly pursuits. At the end of the day, your number one pursuit should be, how can I control myself? How can I make the best and optimal decisions in order to prosper and become great? It's okay to make bad choices. It's okay to make mistakes. That's part of the game. You grow up and you learn and you develop and become a better man. But if you continue to go down the path of darkness, despite knowing that you're doing the path of darkness, that's when you become corrupted. And a lot of men are now becoming corrupted because they've never learned how to control their natural urges. They become obese, they become sex fiends, they become alcoholics, they become degenerates and gamblers and all other types of stuff, because they never learn how to master oneself animal instincts. And that's what makes man, is that we have the ability to control our natural urges. Once a man has learned how to control his ability to eat and control his ability to have sex, which are his two primary urges, he can then take that energy and go out to then find pursuit of the truth and show acts of love and enhance the environment. But if he never learns how to master himself and control his natural animal instincts, he will forever be stuck in an animal like state. And see, the sad thing is that a lot of women, they don't understand this particular concept. So if they don't have a man in their life to teach them the different ways of how to control yourself, they end up falling for these guys who look good on paper. And what happens is they become corrupted by these men because these men teach them the degenerate ways that they've been used to doing because they never had a way to learn how to do self-mastery. And this self-mastery thing is very critical to becoming a man. You know, you have to read, you have to write, you have to become cultured, you have to learn how to embrace the arts, embrace skills, learn how to play games, learn how to develop yourself into a better man. And what a better man is different for every single man. I can't tell you how to become a better man. You know what your flaws are, you know what your weaknesses are. If you don't, find some wise counsel to be able to explain to you what your weaknesses are and all those other things so you can then go and become a better man. And too many men are too prideful or they're too shameful to actually heed this message to actually go and learn and become and develop a better person because it's hard. It's difficult, man. I'm 30 something and I'm now just starting to discover what I am, who I am, and what I'm about and how I should go about life. And so there's a lot of guys in their teens and 20s, they never get taught these things. There's nobody in there's no masculine man in their corner. They go to school, they're taught by primarily female teachers, which is nothing against female teachers, but a woman will never understand how to teach a man how to be a man. It's just not their role. They're there to nurture you. They're there to help you reinforce your manhood, but a man can only be taught how to be a man by another man. And then once he's taught the principles, he then has to go and apply these principles and learn for himself through experiences in life. But if you don't take the time to learn how to do these experiences and grow and develop yourself into a wonderful human being, you'll never be a worth a damn man. And that's what we're developing. We're developing a lot of worthless men. And if you have too many worthless men in society, it creates a worthless society or a doomed civilization. That's what we're looking at in the West, is that we have a society of doomed men. A society of men who never took the time to go educate themselves, never learn, never acquire skills that help benefit other people. We have a bunch of just crypto nerds and streamers and guys who really do nothing but promote degeneracy within a society. So my message for you is I want you to learn how to become a better man by just learning what masculinity is. And once again, masculinity is the pursuit of truth through acts of love, enhancing the environment to help the development of humanity, to further our progress, and to continue the constant development of self-mastery. And if you can do those three things and you slowly start to develop and build those things over time, you then will become a masculine man. And once again, masculinity is not about Lambos, it's not about cars, it's not about women, it's not about money, it's not about that. It's about being a solid man. Not good or bad, just being a solid man and taking care of your responsibilities and maintaining your household. And if you do those things, man, hey, you did your job in this life. Go have a family, go find a wife, find a woman who loves you for you, and make sure you treat her right. Make an honest woman out of her. Provide her a happy home. And if you can do those things, man, you're going to be all right in life. But if not, crash out and have the pain and suffering, because that's what's going to come your way. Appreciate you guys for listening.